whole range of media. So let's kind of look at some of the work. This is Diane Riley's work. We have some pieces that are wax and found objects. And Diane, all of these are abstract landscape. I met first with Dan Borden, and he had abstract photography, and I'd never seen abstract photography, and I thought that was really interesting. So about 18 months ago we met, and I then started putting together this group of 7 artists. This piece that we're looking at right now is steel and glass and pendulums that kind of swing a little bit on their own. And the 2 works, the one on the right that you just saw, and this one that's hanging here that has these kind of pod things that are really intriguing. This is all Diane Riley's work. And this group on the wall are Diane's also. And the next, I want to show you these 12-foot paintings on vellum by Kristen Street. We actually had to figure out how to install them and put a grid in overhead to allow them to hang, free hang there. And they're all landscapes, some of water, some land, and with a variety of media. They look topographical to me. It looks like you're looking down at a landscape from above. And of course, with the light behind them, it's really quite exciting. And of course, the time of day changes the way it looks. Oh yeah. And of course, it's up for your interpretation. Are those roots? Are they branches? You decide. And that's one of the wonderful things about abstract, that it's sort of like a good poem, that it can be interpreted in a variety of ways. Over here we have a painting by Anthony Tomaselli, and Anthony's known for a much more realistic ocean and landscapes. These are his abstract works, which he's been doing for the last couple of years, which I find very exciting. And beneath those these are in stone by Lillian Engel, and they're sort of the forms are kind of undefined, which allows you to determine, are they creature, are they land? It's up to you to decide. And I'm going to bring you around the corner so you can see some of the ceramics and the photography, along with Anthony's painting here on the right, which is a cityscape. There are some other waterscapes and rural, but these interesting ceramic pieces with chain and with metal and a variety of other media fired into them. That's Kristen Street on Vellum. Some more of John Fazzino's ceramics. And above his ceramics is this long expanse. That's a photograph. It looks like a painting. It looks like an abstract painting, but it's actually photography. And I couldn't begin to tell you how he manages to create these works. It's not computer generated. It's actually with a camera, with film. He uses his cell phone. He started out using Polaroid, but making it move, and as he took a picture and creating these abstracted images that are just really exciting. We're looking at the wire pieces by Kristen Street, which again you could interpret any number of ways. Is it a cloud? Is it a creature? I'm not sure, but you can decide. And then we have Kristen Street's. This is a triptych in Vellum. Not only the color is changed, but it's the texture is very different from the others, although they're in the same sort of field, I guess you would say. And next to that is Anthony Tomaselli's painting. That's another urban-inspired landscape. And two urban-inspired landscapes of Dan's. And tonight, for the first time, I've been looking at these for several weeks. I just noticed some of the things about the objects in this work. Like these are posts. And there's a railing. And it looks like there are bolts. And I'd not seen that until tonight. I was interpreting it some other way, and you could probably interpret it differently. I want to point out as we move around the work behind us, this alcove over here. I don't want to rush you. This is an installation by Brian O'Malley with these birch that have the fungus growing on them, the screen that has the birch turning around, and then the inspired pieces with wood as well as painting. And they're a very spiritual connection. And of course there's the sound you're hearing in the background. If I shut up, I guess you could probably hear it a little bit better. Oh. There you go. You can actually hear that throughout the space. It will sort of penetrate whatever you're thinking about, and suddenly you realize that there's this sound in the background that's quite wonderful. Then these are more rural landscapes, photography by Dan Borden. And then we have some waterscapes and sculpture by Anthony Tomaselli. There's a pond with lilies and lily pads, and beneath them the wooden and stone sculpture by Lillian Engel. Lillian and I go back 100 years to when we were in junior high school and college together, but she lives now in New York and creates amazing work in stone and in wood. She also has worked in steel. There's a beach scene, a beach scape by Anthony Tomaselli, and that seems to be very popular. I think it's partly the time of year, but it's a really stunning painting as well. Now, there's a third more of the exhibit upstairs. I'm not sure if we have time. I think we'll start upstairs anyway. This on the right, Dan Borden's, they're flowers. They're roses, sea roses, and it's so abstracted. You might see something else in them, but they're quite lovely. Again, photography, abstracted photography. How does that work? I'm not quite sure. But he was the impulse behind all of this. These are actually Polaroids, old-fashioned Polaroids. He worked with Polaroid for many years, and then the film became hard to get a hold of. I know there's a new format of Polaroid, but now he works a lot with his cell phone. So again, these are kind of rural landscapes. And we have Cityscapes up here. The first is by Anthony Tomaselli. Cityscape, you can kind of see the buildings. It's more obvious, maybe the city in the fog. An interesting thing, working with Anthony, he has allowed some of his work of this sort to be shown either landscape or portrait, and you decide, you interpret where is the ground, because it's so abstracted. You might see it a different way, and he's very interested in exploring and letting people discover. These are Dan Borden's, and again, tonight I started seeing a building in here. Oh, it almost looked like a cathedral to me with the arches, and I hadn't seen it before. What it exactly is of, I couldn't tell you. This looks like fences, and it's quite stunning in any case. These are another set of Dan's works. Again, it feels like it's looking at a fence in some way. The next work of Anthony Tomaselli's, there are 4 of these. They began as the back painting, the underpainting that he does before he starts working on the front, if you will. And he decided he really liked where it was going, and so he finished it with that part of it. And so it changes it radically from the beginning. This is Dan Borden's. This is very interesting. I want to look at this. So we have Riot, and this is the Regency Plaza, the Regency, and there's a Route 95 sign. When you look back at it, you would never sort of recognize that it's sort of the bridge going over the highway, looking back at the Regency Plaza. So compositionally, it's very exciting and interesting. The texture is very interesting, and it's not until you really zoom in to the pieces of it that you discover where you are, which I find very exciting. And these are more of Anthony's, this new series that he's just been working on, that's basically began as back painting, and he decided that he liked where that was going. In the foreground is this very rudimentary, it looks like a piece of part of the side of a hill or something. That's actually onyx. And that's by Lillian Engel. Quite exciting. And rustic compared to the cityscapes around it. So we have, do we have time for more, or are we kind of reaching the end? We're kind of reaching the end. There are some more pieces in the exhibit. It continues through the doors. And if you make an appointment with me, I could show you the rest of the exhibit face to face. Unfortunately, in this time that we are in, I'm not allowed to have people just wander through.
So is the best way to reach you through email?
Either email or my office number, 277-5206.
Okay, and we'll make sure we post that in the comments as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so